Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have the incredible Andrea Sadler. Andrea is also known as Dragonfly. Andrea is a transformational coach, past life regressionist, somatic breathwork facilitator, Reiki Master, healer, psychic intuitive, creative, speaker, writer, actress, and filmmaker. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest on the show today, the incredible Andrea Sadler, and she does some amazing things what I'm really interested, like breath work. So many of those things mentioned. Healing is so important as well. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network. We're also on USA Global Radio and Television Network. We're also on Business Innovators Radio Network, mspnewsglobal.com. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Andrea Sadler. Andrea, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Andrea. Let's get started with your incredible spiritual journey that started at the age of 21. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I love to talk about that because I'm fascinated by the whole spiritual journey. I began around the age 21 consciously because I was in despair about what was happening on the planet. It was the time of punk rock. And I witnessed people being very disconnected from each other. And I felt we were on a path of self-destruction unless we changed our ways. And that led me to ask questions about how can we live sustainably in balance on Earth? And then I began to do a lot of inquiry and reading ancient prophecies. I started meditating when I was 21. And I learned that we were going through a huge shift that's happening now. And I learned that one needed to prepare oneself for this transformation that we're going now that we've left the Kali Yuga. So I began meditating at age 21 and I started studying Southeast Asian religion. I started studying about the Vedic tradition. And I eventually went to India on a journey of how do you become enlightened? So I went to India and I did a past life. I did a Vipassana, which is a 10-day silent meditation. And I also had made a film about reincarnation based on what I'd learned about Buddhism and Hinduism and this whole journey of a spiritual awakening. So I went to India for 6 months by myself. And I experienced Kundalini awakening during the Vipassana retreat. And I also perceived my toroidal field, which was activated. And I tasted bliss, which is the state of samadhi, when I was 21 during this retreat. So this led me on this journey. And I've been on it my whole life.
It's an ongoing journey, Andrea, and I'm a big fan of the Vipassana meditation and just focusing on the breath. And it's all about seeing things as they are. Not everything is impermanent, isn't it? So it really helps you to detach from thoughts and things, which I love about it, just focusing on the breath. And even if it's good, if it's bad, you just watch it go by and don't get the attachments to it and see the impermanence of everything. So I'm a big believer in the power of meditation. And I know the spiritual journey, it's an ongoing journey. It can be painful as well as bliss, Andrea. Let's talk about, did you want to say something?
Well, I just wanted to say about this moment of experiencing my toroidal field, because some people might not know what that is. It's our electromagnetic field that's like a ball all around us, centered in our heart, and it goes around and up through the root chakra and out in all directions like an apple, and we're in the core. And when I was in a meditation state, and I felt this bubble pop up around me, and I felt this sound, kind of whirring sound, and I felt ecstatic bliss. So I have a gift of perceiving energy, and I'm so grateful that I had that experience. And now I lead people on meditation to help them visualize that, even if they can't quite perceive it.
I think that's a great thing. And I know you've got an amazing film, and I'd like to talk about that. And also your dark night of the soul, which can be very, very painful.
Yes. So I've always been, I'm an Aquarian. I'm a sixth planet stellium Aquarian. So I've always had a vision of a better world. And when I wanted to make a documentary film, I studied in film. I'm an actress as well. And when I was in Japan, I heard about this sacred run coming to Japan. It was Dennis Banks is an American Indian leader, and he led this sacred run from Hokkaido down to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And when I saw it, I had already been following my intuition, and I just knew my intuition told me this film is what you need to make, because it encompassed all my interests about peace, social justice, connection with Gaia, indigenous wisdom. And so I went on the journey of making the film. However, I had every obstacle that could be thrown in front of one's way was thrown in front of me. And just raising the money was a big challenge, because peace and environmental awareness were not big popular topics back then. And during the sacred run, it was a 50-day, 4,000-kilometer run, and it was a prayer for Mother Earth. We carried feathers on a staff with the prayers for Mother Earth and for all life. So we were carrying the message that all life is sacred. So I thought we were a cohesive body, love, family running for peace. And what happened was 5 women kept stabbing me in the back over and over to derail me, to throw me off, to disempower me. And I started losing confidence, because I see everyone as my brother and sister. And I couldn't believe that they were being so mean to me and stabbing me in the back, trying to, derail me. And I started becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, because I thought, boy, if you do anything out of the box, like anything a little bit extraordinary, like make a film, people are going to hammer you back into place. And it took me 7 years to make that film, because it was so difficult to get the funding, because peace and environmental awareness were not popular subjects back in the 90s. And what I discovered was people were judging me so much about being naive, like peace is impossible, how are you going to make money with this film? And I said, I'm doing this film to raise awareness. I'm not thinking about how much money I'm going to make. I'm doing it to raise consciousness. But because I was so getting a lot of judgment from people, I really lost my confidence. And then during the process of making the film and the post-production, I was also pursuing acting and a singing career. And what was happening was, what was coming to the surface was I had been sexually abused as a child. And what that does is it rips away your lower 3 chakras, your confidence, your creativity, and your root chakra. It destroys the lower 3 chakras. And I was living heart chakra up to the cosmos. But what I had to do was I had to heal my lower 3 chakras, and I had to heal the sexual abuse. So, and heal I had to love myself, because I didn't love myself. And I lacked confidence, because so many people were making fun of me while I was making this film, that I just thought, well, maybe I should go back to the stars, because people don't really get my message. And I don't know what other message to send, because this is my soul. This is my heart message. And I had this feeling that I actually became suicidal. So I went into a very, very dark period while I was making the film. But I continued to do I continued meditating, I continued journaling, I continued, I did therapy, I did workshops, I did reading, I did everything I could. And I did a lot of shamanic healing as well with different healers. And I did a landmark program, which helped me remember to stand in my possibility and not my old story. And the whole process was a transformational journey for me. And it enabled me to remember that this was a key moment, was that I had a moment when I remembered that, wait a second, I was an egg and a sperm that came together, and then I divided into cells, and then I became me. So my being here and who I am in my core, who I am in my essence, I was born as me for a reason. Just like every tree, every flower is born, every being is born for a reason. And I started standing in my possibility, and I stood in the possibility that I am a peacemaker. I live in the vibration of love. I live with loving compassion, and I stopped worrying about what people were judging me for. And I also had I had some miracles, which I would love to share. One in particular, when I went into debt making this film, I did it on my credit cards, right? Because it was hard getting the funding. And I was reading the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And he was talking about the practice of gratitude. And I was like, okay, I'm grateful for the butterfly, for the grass, and I'm crying in the clouds and this and that. And then I said, but God, if you want me to keep spreading the message of peace and love and interconnection, I need cash, because I had credit card debt and minimum payments to pay. And I was still in the distribution, getting it to festivals and everything. And 3 days later, I was driving in a convertible with a fellow I went on a date with, a lawyer guy. And in front of me, there was a car, and 3 money bills flew up. And it was almost like a cartoon, because it was like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Like, it was like unbelievable, right? And I said, that looked like money, didn't it? And he said, do you want to go back? I said, yeah, you never know. It might be $100 bills for all we know. I was embarrassed because I had so little money. I think I had $20 to my name at the time. We turned around. I watched him get out, and he said, one $100 bill, 2 $100 bills, and he handed me 3 $100 bills. And I threw my hands up and I said, okay, God, I'm never going to worry about money again. And I realized that, there are things happening that seem like miracles. And I believe that there are miracles. To me, that was spirit telling me, you don't have to worry about money. It's everything, it's kind of illusion. What's important is your mindset about money, and you can change the world with what your mind is all about. Clean up your mind, clean up the world, right? And so I was able to finish the film. I had I organized a giant, like about 1,000 people came to the closing film of my film was the closing film of the Indigenous Peoples Festival. And I had a vision that we would all stand in a circle ceremony. And, there were like, maybe I'm exaggerating, there were 500 people, let's say. It was a big, big space. And I didn't know how I'm going to get 500 people into a circle. But an indigenous woman sang a song while another Indigenous woman led a spiral dance. And suddenly we were like 10 concentric circles. And we did this beautiful circle ceremony. So I feel like now I'm so connected to spirit. I know I'm guided every step of the way. And this is now what I teach and what I help people with because of my own journey. And now I help others.
That's a beautiful story. Beautiful. I believe in miracles, definitely too. And when you have a vision, those challenges are going to come the way. And it sounds like you were given those challenges, but they made you stronger and definitely got you into the place where you're at now. I love that. Now, tell me a little bit about women's circles, Andrea.
Yeah, so because of the stabbing in the back I've experienced with women over the years, I've been bullied my whole life by women, specifically women or girls, in high school or whatever. And so I started feeling this desire to step up and lead women's circles where we celebrate each other and witness each other and support each other, rather than the patriarchal vision of, competition, tearing each other down. And I was terrified, Mark, of persecution. Even leading a women's circle, I was terrified of persecution, so much so that I sprained my ankle the week before. A friend said, I'm going to help you. We got through it. And I've been leading monthly women's circles every month where we focus on a theme. It could be abundance, or healing activating the inner goddess, or activating the inner warrior, healing the mother wound, healing the father wound. And I've seen women transmute and blossom as they go through this month by month. And now I actually created a new membership called the Luminous Dragonfly Society. And it's all about women rising up, becoming their magnetic, magnificent self. And we are evolving into light beings. And so it's all about becoming radiant and being broadcasting light, love, and alignment. And so the Luminous Dragonfly Society includes one meditation intuition practice class. It includes a sister circle with a different theme, and it includes a group coaching call. And then if people want to get a private coaching call, there's a different membership level if they want a private coaching call as well. And I also lead a 8-week meditation program with women called Develop Your Superpowers. And I'm launching for the 3rd time a program called Activate, Align, Ascend, which is a 12-week journey through the chakras. And one of the women who joined, I said, get ready, because your life is going to transform in 12 weeks. And she said at the end, she said, boy, were you ever bang on right about that? Because her life, I witnessed their life transforming in these 12 weeks. And I don't just work with women, I also work with men. But I started working with women, I think, because I needed to heal that in me. But now I'm feeling the call to restore balance between the masculine and the feminine. And I'm actually creating a program with another male transformational coach that we're going to launch in January about restoring the balance between the masculine and the feminine. And yeah. It's been quite
exciting times, Andrea. I love what you're doing in the world. I really do. You mentioned you're a transformational coach. I know you do breath work and somatic practices. You do so many great things. So just share with our audience who should connect with you, Andrea, who should reach out, who is best to connect with you. I know they can go to your LinkedIn to connect at Andrea Sadler /coach. That's Andrea Sadler /coach on LinkedIn. Who do you want to connect with?
Well, I love connecting with everybody. My main audience, my clients are mostly, I'm 63 and I work with women between, usually 40 and into their 70s, sometimes even their 80s. But I like to work with professional women who are visionaries and people who they know they have so much inside to express, but they feel stuck because of lack of confidence, or they feel stuck because they're afraid of persecution, or they feel stuck because they've chosen a safe path, but maybe now they're retired or maybe their children are gone and they want to do something more in alignment with their soul purpose and their heart purpose, rather than just, having a job that's secure, providing the bills. So I really help people in this kind of transition. They feel the spiritual calling to do something in alignment with their soul, and they want to connect more with their intuition. And I'm a, spiritual creative coach, and I love to help people who want to make the world better. So they might have big dreams, but their mindset gets in the way, or maybe healing needs to be done. And we need to make sure we heal before we really connect, or while we connect with source as well. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't have compassion, if you're living in the limited possibility, limiting beliefs, you're always going to set yourself up. It's going to, be problematic. But when you heal and you clear all your chakras and you align all your energy centers, you receive downloads from divine source and also Mother Earth. And it's like amazing. Life becomes so magical and powerful, and synchronicities happen all the time. So I just love to work with clients who they feel this calling, but they have some fear or limiting beliefs.
I love that. I would encourage everyone to go and check out Andrea Sadler /coach on LinkedIn. And if Andrea has resonated with you today, I know she would be able to help you in all of the things that we've discussed as well. Andrea, thank you so much for being my guest today. I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's great to see you again.
The pleasure's been all mine. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now. See you later, people. I think it's coming on.